Helldivers 2 is a game that I should be categorically opposed to having fun in. I don't play third-person shooters, the phrase live service makes me sweat, and I think games with the premise of shoot a lot of things as they run at you are designed for iPad children. Despite all of this, I would drop a 500-kilogram bomb on my own Roomba if it furthered the purposes of Super Earth.
Alright, here's 500 pounds right down your smokestack.
500 pounds, you say? He better not have accidentally mismeasured the payload.
I had no plan to play Helldivers, as is usually the case with games that blitzkrieg the internet and then disappear a couple weeks later. But when the Spice Market's resident doctor gifted me this game, I found it unique that the servers barely let anybody play the game for the first couple of weeks, and every time somebody would tweet at the lead developer about this, he had an intern reply with this bizarre and unlabeled photo.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose.
I think that level of community engagement is heartwarming, so I immediately logged in to try the tutorial.
Man, I can't believe we're actually gonna become Helldivers.
What's this, motherfucker?
I think you're ready for a highly realistic...
You can in fact fail the tutorial. This is an intentional design decision. At any point in this game, anything can kill you. This is alluded to in the intro cinematics, which momentarily flash the statistic that the average age of all Helldivers is 18, and the minimum age to enlist in the Helldivers is also 18. Don't think about it too long. In fact, here, you now command a super destroyer. Christen it with a name that can carry the burden of its duties. I named mine the Wings of Redemption, cause sister,
I just can't do it. I can't take this shit no more.
get me in a Hellpod right now. My body is a machine that turns unlaunched Hellpods into... You ever have a soundbite that lives rent-free in your head? Like you're just laying in bed and suddenly...
Oh, I've been married a long time ago.
That's every 9 seconds in this game. Oh shit! It's an absolute triumph of sound design. Look, 99% of what I say on this channel, I either don't believe, or I do believe, but it's disinformation. The following sentences are not. The first time I extracted from a mission, I immediately went to the gym and deadlifted the heaviest weight I have in years. I didn't do it because I got stronger. I did it for democracy. And I think that's a good gauge of how well the sound designers did their job. Propaganda is an art, and the Ministry of Super Earth makes Picasso look like a baby back bitch. Helldivers 2 is the kind of game that had I played it at the age of 16, I might have made some decisions which I might come to reconsider 8 years and several VA-funded therapists later. And I don't think I have a higher compliment. The actual gameplay loop revolves entirely around a live service campaign, which is the reason that both your friends named Joel are suddenly interested in learning Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Don't ask, we'll come back to that. In the age of online Discord, the concept, not the mobile app, a small team of developers have somehow managed to unite the entire internet to fight as one. And thank Liberty they did. Because sister, there's a two-front war raging across the galaxy, and we're outnumbered and outgunned, but never outmanned. The Galactic Eastern Front is essentially the southern United States, in the sense that even if you burn it all to the ground, the cockroaches only seem to keep getting bigger. This front is the most akin to a traditional horde shooter. Without tight squad coordination and liberal use of cluster munitions, newer Helldivers are usually left asking, what can one soldier do against the infinite swarm at our doorstep? Truthfully, the only thing you can do is your part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I didn't do fucking shit.
You will die early. You will die often. You will be blown to pieces by your least competent friend, and even your most competent friend's danger close call-out doesn't really encompass the scope of the matter. So, why the hell is this game taking the internet by storm? It's because it's a game that does all of the simple things beautifully. I think the greatest misconception our parents had when we grew up to not play sports and instead play video games is that we were mindlessly chasing high scores by blasting hordes of Christians. But the best games are stories, Mom. I don't play games to make a number get higher. I play games because when the symbolic embodiment of masculine self-sufficiency realizes that he can't yee-haw his way out of tuberculosis, he finally reflects on the nature of his violent existence, and for the first time, there's only one thing he can say.
I guess I'm afraid.
and it makes me weep like an infant into my beef stroganoff. Helldivers 2 tells a story. In fact, it may be the only entirely multiplayer live service shoot 'em up style video game that makes me feel like I'm a part of something bigger. In an age where you have to navigate a casino slot machine to figure out how to get to the part where you play the game, Helldivers says, here's your gun, here's your coffin, let your teammates know when you call in an airstrike, go fight horrors beyond your comprehension. And despite my better judgment, I would do anything for Super Earth. I haven't even had the time to research what managed democracy is. I'm sure it's just like regular democracy, and we're not all blindly giving our lives for authoritarian power structures that perpetuate a cycle of armed conflict to rally us around a flag that trades bodies for legitimacy. And if you think anything else, well, starting to sound a bit like a communist. Digression. It's loud as fuck on the Western Front. Unlike the big roaches, who essentially scatter if you turn on the kitchen lights being a thermonuclear warhead, the communist automatons do not fear, do not sleep, and do not miss. Automatons follow orders with reckless abandon and show no signs of free will, unlike you, who thinks, therefore you are. Now, would you kindly hit the like and subscribe? They are simultaneously the living embodiment of the Unabomber's manifesto and an unexpected boon for progressive social discourse, because now I can't even say the word binary without the nearest democracy officer giving me bombastic side-eye. I think everyone has a plan when they dive onto an automaton-controlled world. One guy brings the recoilless rifle, one gal brings the EMP mortar, and so on. But when the trees start speaking hexadecimal, my plan immediately changes to pee myself, call in an orbital strike on my position, scream broken arrow into my Walmart microphone, and flee in that order. It's not a good plan, and if I may make a recommendation on a better strategy, allow me to do so through song.
They'll come day and they'll come night, they'll have our children in their sights. But if they don't have faith, their eyes are blind.
They can scream and they can shout, but they can never smoke us out. Keep your rifle by your side, singing, oh Lord, this earth was made for us. Singing, oh Lord, this sinful life just ain't enough. When we hear the voice, we know we have no other choice. Keep your rifle by your side. They'll have bombs and they'll have tanks, 'cause they've got money in their banks. But we won't fall as long as we can fight.
They'll go on to reach their peak, but they won't get past the gate. Keep your rifle by your side.
A word of caution. Be careful not to let your righteous beliefs as a Helldiver translate into your everyday life. Yoink! While editing this video, this robot I keep plugged into the wall behind me started to scream, and instead of considering its pleas, I pulled out my 9. It'll probably cost some amount of money to replace, but the potential to spill some oil in real life is more than enough return on that investment. A quick aside, thank you to the literal Spice Barons, Demon, Dax78, the narrator, and of course, Russell935, because carbon monoxide detectors cost more than I was expecting. In fact, thank you to all my patrons, I genuinely appreciate your support, no bit here. Anyway, I think Helldivers touches on a strange generational shift in a really unique way. My great-grandfather had to sit inside on the 4th of July because he went to some whack spring break party that he called the first wave on Omaha, and yet most of Gen Z starts to shake if they go 9 seconds without getting flashbanged by content. This isn't an accusation. At the risk of doxing myself, I will admit that not only do I belong to that generation, I was there when we lost Malevalon Creek. Can we really be blamed if we need constant stimulation? It's not the loud noises that bother us. It's the silence. Pelican 1 is the name of the extraction aircraft, and if my wife agrees, my firstborn son. They will fly through a brick wall if it means there's an opportunity to pull you out. It is very important to note that their bingo fuel indicator is somehow always set to the moment that the first Helldiver sets foot inside. Once this occurs, you have a very narrow window of time, or you're staying. This is made no easier by the fact that the developers of this game have admitted they have one dude on staff who watches over everyone's games, and whenever he wants, he can just He can just get you. His name is Joel, and he sucks. Regardless, I have seen Pelican 1 land, not on, but through a bug 3 stories tall to pull us from certain disaster, and that keeps me awake at night. That, along with the fact that if it's not abundantly apparent, I stopped taking my meds to make this video. Art requires sacrifice, and sacrifice is what makes us Helldivers. I stream on Twitch, links in the pinned comment. Thank you to those on screen, the Coriander Connoisseurs, and the Pepper Peddlers of the Spice Market. I'll see you all at Malevalon Creek.